Hello, hello, everybody. I am Dr. T&J Ramsey, the host of CTR Media Network TV, and this is powered by CTR Media Network. Today, we are on location. Yes, you see we are on location at the annual Flourish Homeschool Conference, But today, I know you see this amazing young lady to my right, and we are speaking all things homeschooling. And for those of you who have an interest in homeschooling and want to know about different programs, different initiatives, what's really going on within the homeschooling community, we're going to be interviewing and sharing with you multiple different outlets so that you can think about it and pick and choose what you want to do. So today we have Holly. And Holly, I am so excited to actually speak with you because before we actually got on camera, you was telling me some of the amazing things that you do. So for our viewing audience, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. My name is Holly Teray. I consider myself a mom on a mission. I am a consultant for the American Federation for Children, and what we do is we promote and enhance educational options across the nation. So here in Georgia, I help promote and advocate for all different types of educational settings, from charter to magnet to homeschool to public school, private school, you name it, because education is not one size fits all. Our children each have individual needs, and it's important that they are able to access an educational environment that is most conducive to meet those very specific needs.
You know, that's very important, and I like the way that you have a variety of different things that you actually offer. So, in your opinion, what type of parent would be the type of parent that you will better be able to service, like a new-time homeschooling parent or maybe a veteran? What type of services could they look forward to?
So, for me in particular, when I first meet a parent and they know that their child is not getting what they need in the traditional school setting, I first ask them to tell me about their child. And usually at that moment, their face lights up, or sometimes a few tears are shed. And they'll tell me about their child's specific learning needs, or if there's something going on in the school that they're not getting appropriately, what they need. It's just a plethora of things. But at the end of the day, what's very unifying for me and just all moms in general is the fact that we all just want what's best for our child. And from there, once I learn a little bit about their child and what they're looking for, then we can sit down and assess what is available to help meet those child's needs, and then what type of scholarship opportunities can get them that much closer to accessing those needs. And so that's where the advocacy element of this comes into it. But also a lot of education goes into it as well, because unfortunately, when it comes from your state house to the Capitol in D.C. to, anywhere, these aren't programs that they tend to really promote or put in front of parents. And I have a belief as to why that might be. So I'm out here every day just really educating parents and letting them know what's available for their child.
So basically in homeschooling, we have two types of parents. We have traditionalists, and then we have some parents like myself who we are traditional, but we are willing to accept some type of assistance. So is there certain requirements, such as you mentioned scholarships?
Yes.
So what do a person have to do to be able to access this funding?
Yes.
Is it specifically for a certain demographic, a certain group of children that maybe needs special attention, or is it just for homeschoolers in general?
So I will tell you, every state is different, okay? And but across the board, your typical scholarship opportunities, should they have them, would be one, your special needs scholarships. So those are for children who are on an IEP, an individualized education plan, or a 504 plan. And then how those scholarships are structured is typically it's a portion of how much the state sends to meet that child's education plan, and then you're able to take those dollars and then allocate them to, most times, a private setting. In addition to that, I don't want to say a lot, some have also something called a tax credit scholarship. Tax credit scholarship is usually based off of household income, but I have learned that they tend to be pretty liberal in that, and I've never really met a family that wanted one that couldn't truly access it. And then lastly, and this is kind of new on the education landscape, it's called an educational savings account, an ESA. And actually here in Georgia, we just passed a piece of legislation. It's called the Georgia Promise Scholarship. And this bill, what it does, it's very similar to your health savings account. So when you have a health savings account, you go to CVS and you get like a Snickers bar or and a bottle of aspirin, and you swipe that HSA card, and it covers the aspirin, but it doesn't cover the Snickers bar. It's set up in the similar way. So families that have children that are zoned for the bottom 25% performing schools in the state of Georgia can access this scholarship. So they have to be in a public school setting. They can get $6,500 then to apply that towards private school tuition. But in addition to that, it can also be used for homeschooling curriculum. It can be used for technology for to support homeschooling or online schooling. It can be used even for speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy if your child had those type of services in the public school setting. And as well as even a transportation reimbursement portion to it, considering you tend to lose busing if you leave the public school. So the whole goal for an ESA scholarship is for a parent to be able to really customize their education. But through the ESA options, this is where the homeschooling community comes in, okay? And so you're right. We do have some old school type families that they are just, and I respect their position. They said, we do not want the government in any way, shape, or form involved in our children's homeschooling education. But then you also have families that have sat down and they looked over how much it would cost them to be able to get the curriculum, get the computer, get the pencils and the paper, even just providing that additional meal every day. These are all these types of expenses, and then once they look at it, they go, I can't afford it. We're talking about, especially families, single moms, or those that might have more complex needs in their children education that they have to meet. And so for those families, this is the biggest gift they could get. This just opens that door for them. And so it's become a little, we got two camps.
How does one find out more about what it is that you do? And then, of course, I know it's, when you think about programs, it's very specific on what type of person really qualifies. However, I'm so glad you shared all these different examples, and you even broke it down very, very small so that we could really understand how wide, how vast, because most of the time when you're thinking about scholarships, you're not thinking about how vast it is. And this is a topic that is on homeschoolers' mind. Some saying yes, some saying no, But then I'm listening, I'm like, this could really be something that could really shift the dynamic of the education in a very positive way, because most of the time the reason why a child can't have access to something is because of funding. It's because of funding.
Absolutely.
Not because the parent don't care, not because the parent don't want them to have it. It's because they have more than one child. And they're trying to think, okay, this is how much we have to pay. We have to allot this amount of money for every student. And then what if you have a child that falls into a category that need more assistance than the other?
Right.
And so I feel like this could bridge that gap with the programming that you guys are educating us on. Because first we need to be educated, because we get a little like, ooh, wait a minute. They're going to give us money, but what do we have to do,
Right.
And so how can people get in contact with you or your organization to learn more so that they can be better informed, so that we as the homeschooling community can make better informed decisions and get our hands on some of this funding that could really help change our life and make our homeschooling journey easier?
Yes, absolutely. I want to connect with your viewers. So you can find me at Georgians for School Choice all one word, @gmail.com. You can also find me on the American Federation for Children website under the Moms on a Mission tab. And there you'll see my own personal voucher story. I was a voucher kid from the inner city of Cleveland, Ohio, and that program changed the trajectory of my life. And there's some other moms on there as well that share their school choice testimony as well, and you can learn more. But yes, Georgians for School Choice @gmail.com. I'd love to connect with you. I can get you connected to some advocates in your state if you're not in Georgia, as well as at least get you the information to know what is available in your state and how to get started.
That is important. Holly, thank you so much for sharing all of this information. I mean, I wish I knew you a couple of years sooner, because I'm hearing about all of this amazing things that are actually available right now, that so many parents, due to a lack of not knowing, we don't even know how to access this stuff. And so the fact that you broke it down and actually sharing, you guys really go to the website, reach out, and find out about these services that are available, and see do your family fall up under that category, because you just never know, and that can greatly de-stress your homeschooling process, okay?
Yes.
I'm all about homeschooling, but de-stressing it as much as possible while you're homeschooling. So if someone will be able to help you with funding to buy electronics, which your baby's gonna need, that would be a great service to you. So please, take her advice and check out everything that they have to offer. So is there anything else you would like to share with our viewing audience that you feel like they need to know, or something that you wish you would have known before and you think it's like a good little tidbit, a good little tip to help a parent that feel like they're all alone or they need some extra help?
I would say your voice matters and it makes a difference. If you're a parent and you find yourself in a state that does not make priority educational choice, then it's time to use your voice and advocate for your child. You are the only one that knows what your child needs and how to get it. And sometimes we do have to utilize certain people in position of power in order to access those things. So you're going to go to your lawmaker, you're going to go to your state house, you're going to talk to your county officials, you're going to rally parents together, and you're going to make this happen. You're going to make it happen because we did it here in Georgia, and it's happening across the country, and it just starts with the power of one mom that's on a mission for their baby.
I love it. I love it. And so you guys, listen, we are live in full effect at the Flourish Homeschooling Conference here in Decatur, Georgia. I am going to be interviewing and sharing with you many stories from parents to educators, from business owners to ones that's actually helping us be able to homeschool our children in the best productive way possible, but de-stressing the process at the same time. You're going to get to know various different organizations that you may not had ever heard about before had not you watched these interviews. So we doing this in order to help you on your homeschooling journey, create the life that you want for your children, and they'll be able to have the access that they deserve to have. So on that note, Holly, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for sharing. You guys, her information is going to be in the description of this video, so make sure that you reach out, okay? Okay, for those of you who do not know, or no one ever told you that you matter, that you're important, and that you're loved, I want you to know at the end of the day, I love you, that you're important, and your word really matters. She said it in a nutshell. So until next time, you guys have a great, amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next interview. Bye.